Hi, everyone. This is your host, Kristen Howe, and I am so excited to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Vicky Thurlow. Now, Vicky has experienced serious injuries, divorce, financial devastation, and she's even faced death. And all of these experiences led her to her calling, and her calling is to open up to consciousness, which she has fully embraced and practices as a teacher, an author, a talk show host, and as a certified hypnotherapist. Now, through her awakening to consciousness, Vicky unlocked her own profound healing, and she unlocked healing physically, emotionally, and spiritually, so on all levels. And what occurred during and since her heroic journey is nothing short of amazing, and you'll hear about that today. Now, on today's call, you will discover how to act. And when I say act, I mean A.C.T, as in act consciously today. You'll discover techniques to live in a vibrant and healthy body. You'll find out what conscious breathing is and how to do it. You'll discover that all things vibrate and have certain frequencies, and that any frequency can be transformed. You'll also discover how amazing and powerful your body is when you give it permission to be that amazing. So, Vicky, I can't wait for this. I think this is such an important call for us to have. Thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to the call.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I'm truly honored to be among the people who are helping to raise consciousness. I thank you for such an opportunity, because I know that we will reach a lot of listeners today. And I just am very excited about this call.
Me too. And yes, we will reach a lot of listeners, and we'll reach the people that are absolutely ready for you, whether they knew it or not. They are ready for Vicky, so that's great.
Perfect.
So actually, could we start, because I kind of hinted at it, but could you give us a couple of minutes, just, share a little of your story so we get to know you a little bit, and especially some of the major turning points that you've experienced that have allowed you to, come to where you are in your level, in your level of life. You're manifesting your current level of success.
I would love to. And basically because I believe that this subject matter is so important in today's world, and I'm so passionate about sharing it. So I would love to have that opportunity. I think just briefly, back in the 80s, when I was dabbling in the world of modeling and getting into being a trainer and a fitness instructor and all of that, I was just coming out of a cult that I had been raised in. And so my life was really kind of crazy at the time. And so being into fitness was kind of a way for me to have a little bit more control over my life, over my body, over my mind. So anyway, I did a lot of training to become a trainer, and loved that industry. And through a couple of decades, I went on to design and own one of the largest athletic clubs and world-class day spas in the state of Colorado. And it was at that time in the late 90s, I was in my 30s, and I was diagnosed with an incurable disease. And it was really affecting my ability to teach, train, and run my business. And I'll say right here that being in the spa and fitness world and losing your health is not a good mix. It's not good for business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
As well as it not being fun, personally, but it was really not good for business. So anyway, this particular health issue, it really got my attention. And with that, my huge healing journey began. And it wasn't an instant healing, but I was able to expand my awareness in so many areas. And eventually, at age 45, I was back in full swing, running a business, teaching classes, and along with an incredible team of managers and over 100 employees, we were growing and servicing over 8,000 clients. And it was at that time, it was a big business and really flourishing. And it was at that time, my husband at that time, he had his own company, I had mine, and we were living the good life, quote unquote. We had a private plane and houseboat on Lake Powell and great cars and a great house and pool and a villa in Aspen. And, it was just all fluffy, right? and, and then, as some people say, the bottom dropped out. And I like to say that I had another opportunity to gain more consciousness. And so anyway, I lost my marriage. I lost the income from the sale of my business because the guy took out bankruptcy. And that's a whole nother juicy story, but that one's all about forgiveness and the power of forgiveness. But here I was with all things gone from my life. And it was interesting that as I was stripped of about everything material, that in that process, I was given, this opportunity to realize what's really, truly important. And it was during that awakening that I understood what consciousness is. And I unlocked my healing, like you mentioned, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And what happened to me on that journey is what I have brought into my world now, and I share with other people to help other people. And I've done that through, writing books and sharing and doing things like this. And when I tell people that I've been in a cult and I've been on the brink of suicide and physical injuries and disease and divorce and financial devastation, I think that I can say I know what I'm talking about, and that it's brought me to being a consciousness teacher, and it's brought me to you. It's brought me to these wonderful listeners, and the opportunity to share with them, so that hopefully they don't have to go through all the things that I went through.
No, I think that's amazing. Yeah, and that you've taken. First of all, I love that how just honest and open you are about your story, because of course that really helps us go, okay, yeah, she's been up against it and knows, that's huge. A lot of people would want to hide that. And I love that you're so willing to share that and to really, help people get out of whatever sickness and pain they might be in, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Right.
So actually a good way to begin this is because there are a lot of people listening. I know this because I touch base with our listeners as often as I can. There are a lot of them who they feel like, they're sick, they're in pain. They feel like they have absolutely tried everything under the sun. What do you say to those people? Because I know it's easy to start thinking about, it'll never get better. This is how my life is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're asking that, because I do hear that from people as well. I've tried everything, and I venture to say that most people probably haven't tried everything. And if one of you honestly thinks that you have tried everything, then I want to just ask you, with what intention and conviction did you try everything? And I personally do my best to never use the word try, because try never gets anything done. It just keeps trying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess what I want to say to everyone is, don't try to do, some of these things that I'm going to share with you. Rather, do the things that I'm going to share with you. And there's a huge difference in the energy around those two thoughts. One thing I've always held people accountable for in my past with training, physically and classes and all that sort of thing is I never would allow people to say, well, I'll try to be in the gym tomorrow, or I'll try to get to class. I made them say to me with clear intention and that conviction, I choose to be in the gym tomorrow. I will be in class tomorrow, period. And you can feel the difference in those statements, between I'll try to be there or I will be there. It's a huge, huge difference. And I'm sure that some of the listeners are thinking, well, that's easy for her to say. She doesn't have the problems I have right now, or the disease or the deformity or whatever. And this is where I can say, I hear you, and I've been in some of those places. And I just fully believe that taking 100% self-responsibility is the key. And the only way I know how to understand and explain, people with disabilities or chronic disease is that some people, I believe, come into this life, into a particular body that they have right now for specific reasons and by choice. And there are reasons of which I'm not aware of unless that person were to give me permission to find out. But those reasons could be to experience patience or humility. Maybe it's their short-term exit plan because they don't need to live to be 70 or 80. Or maybe their ultimate plan was to come here the way they are now to teach someone else patience or humility or compassion or unconditional love or something else. And that's all okay if you take responsibility and move forward in conscious ways and not fall into being a victim, because that just doesn't work for me. I guarantee it doesn't work for any of the listeners either, that being a victim. So, when you say I've tried everything and it's not working, that sort of starts to fall over to that victim side versus being conscious and saying, there's always something more I can do. And of course, my favorite questions are to always ask why and what. And if there's anyone listening that is one of the people who thinks they've tried everything to heal and haven't, I encourage you to begin asking why and what and be open for answers. Like, why am I not healing? Why am I still in pain? Or what needs to change in order for me to get results? And I guarantee that if you ask, there is an answer. And I don't have all the answers for you unless you give me that permission, to come up with answers. But each of you have your own answers. If you tap into your higher consciousness and listen to it, you will find answers. And I'm going to share, simply how to do that a little bit later. But we have to be open and willing to accept the answers. Sometimes we don't get answers because we're not willing to hear. So ask why and what, and then always be open to what could be available there.
And I love that you brought up the intention part of it, because I think that's so true. I mean, that's true with everything, is that, I can take it out of health and think about, let's say there's a couple that's struggling in their marriage and they're like, we've tried everything. Well, if they've tried it with the I don't want to talk to somebody, that, there's an energy and an intention that's not going to, allow you, exactly what you said, to accept and receive the movement that could be there with the different intention.
You are right on. Yep.
Yeah, so I love that you brought that up. That's really, really important. Okay, so let's talk about this, because you have this thing called ACT, which is to act consciously today. I love that. So what is acting, and why is it so vitally important to live in this way?
It's just one of those fun little words, and I thought, well, what can I do with A.C.T., and we'll just act consciously.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that means just doing things, as many things as possible, consciously, being very in the moment, conscious, whatever it is you're doing, meditation, conscious breathing, conscious visualization, or, affirmations, conscious eating. That's incredible. Conscious working out. Conscious clearing chakras and balancing, just whatever it is you're doing, do it consciously and with full awareness and intention. It's being in the moment. And being in the moment is such a powerful realm. It's from which all things are possible. It's a realm where you ask questions like, what needs to happen in order for me to be pain-free, or what needs to happen in order for me to lose 15 pounds, and then stay in that moment. That's where you get the answers. So, if you allow yourself to become distracted um, at that time, when you ask a question and then you get distracted, you take yourself out of that realm of possibility. And it's really easier than it sounds, but it's just, you simply have to be present. If you are, again, it comes back to that intention, like you're saying. You just said, like with the couples, they've tried everything, but yet there's this intention of, but we don't want to go to a counselor. That's not being in that realm of possibility. That's not being open to saying, hey, I'll go see a counselor, I'll do whatever. Just really being fully present and acting consciously in that moment. Consciousness is a place, I believe, where you live in the question of all things and being open for those answers. It's asking questions, being open, and, I read so many different things, but I love the great teacher, Jesus. He says that you have not because you ask not. And so that's why I'm just like, ask and act and be available for answers.
Yeah, I think, and I love that you bring up the being available for answers, because there is that element of, there's a whole bunch of us running around and, asking for things, and then we're forgetting to listen for the answers and also then to receive them. So, I think I'm glad you brought that up.
And I think that that's what acting is to act consciously today, is to keep your focus. A lot of people are willing to ask and pray, whatever, they do, but then to stay in that realm and receive the answers is the very next step. And that's where you need to act consciously, is to choose with intention to listen. So that's acting.
I love that, with the intention to listen, and then perhaps, and then take action, and then act,
exactly,
which I love,
exactly.
right? So that's great. Okay, so you mentioned some stuff before that I want to talk about a little closer, which is, conscious eating. Everything you talk about is really prefaced by this idea of consciousness or conscious breathing. So what is this conscious element? Just, hammer down on it a little bit more for us, so that we're like, because this is a savvy group, but, every once in a while, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So what exactly do you mean when you say that?
Well, when I say conscious eating or conscious working out, it's simply being present, aware, grateful in each moment of whatever it is you're doing. If it's eating, if it's drinking, you can have a very intimate and conscious conversation with your body, and ask it, what do you need, body, in order to absorb all the nutrients available from this food that I'm eating right now? And then stay in that realm with that intention, act consciously today, and then you listen when you ask your body that. Then with your conscious intention, you'll learn that you can change with your intention's huge. You can change frequencies of food to match the frequencies that you've asked your body to be. Your body will respond like never before to that food. The same goes with water. I've met people who've done powerful alchemy over contaminated water, which that's all this is. They could drink it and never be sick. And it's just it's living in consciousness, being aware of how to change the frequencies in your body and in that water, in your body and in that food. Just being very powerful in your consciousness. Does that make sense?
Okay, so talk to me. Yes, it completely makes sense. So when you say frequency, we're talking about the energetic vibration of things. So just quickly get into that a little bit. Again, this is something that pretty much everybody here is familiar with, but just quickly tap into that. So as we continue the conversation, people aren't like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Well, when you consciously transform your body's energy, and its intention, and the energy of the food and or water that you're about to put in it, the two can then work together perfectly for your highest good. It's probably one of the most fascinating and helpful insights that I've ever rediscovered in my life. And I say rediscovered because we all know this information. We all have it. We all have it in our subconscious mind. And now it's time to remember. And so hopefully I can help people remember this information. And this is how I bless my food, no matter where I am. You know, some people have lived their life bowing their head, blessing their food, praying over it or whatever. At home in a restaurant, I don't need to bow my head or do anything special. It's just simply a conscious intention. It's acting. And that's become habit for me as I begin to eat. I'm not asking something outside of myself to do anything. I'm transforming the energy right in front of me, and everybody on this call can do the exact same thing. But a step further with this consciousness is that when you're also grateful in the moment, being consciously grateful for every person who brought you whatever it is you're eating or drinking. Let's say it's a grapefruit on your, being grateful to the people who planted and nurtured it, picked it, the drivers who brought it to the market, the employees who put it on display. Or if it's an animal, by all means, thank the animal for sustaining you and all the people who brought it to your table. The energy of gratitude is so powerful, so powerful. But what I love about this awareness of energy is we can consciously adjust our frequencies with these, processes that I'm sharing. And within that moment, you can adjust, transform your body, your food, your water. And it's not just that. You can do this with your relationships, with your finances. It all comes back down to that acting consciously today with intention.
I love that. So literally you're saying absolutely everything. So money, a carrot,
exactly.
our body, everything has energy that responds to intentions.
Yes. Right. And it isn't difficult. It isn't difficult. It just takes a few minutes of conscious, focused determination and consistency.
Yeah, well, that's the key with everything, right? You can't just do something once and be like, well, I don't think that worked. So you have to be consistent. Okay, so conscious conversations with food and water, and then everybody, you can take this and apply it to your money, your health, Can you give us a quick example? Because it's such an interesting concept. Is there any way to do that? And if not, that's fine. Just tell me.
Yes. Well, like I told you, I've known people who have not had clean water to drink and have been able to, just take a few moments and really be centered and very aware and conscious and ask that water to transform and ask your body to accept the water how it is and to never get sick from it. And the same with food. If you have something, and how many people have been camping or whatever, and you just aren't sure if this food is good? I mean, what better way to bless your food than to say, body, what do you need to do in order to eat this and be okay? And food, I'm asking you, the energies around you, to match my body so that I don't get sick.
Love that. Okay, so it's literally, I get it. Okay, I just wanted people to hear an example so that they can get, because I know it's funny. We talk to each other all the time, but even with people, I just want to point this out, because what you're saying, not that you would always say this out loud to someone because other people aren't always able to receive this, but we don't even do this with people. We don't get in alignment. We don't get our energies in alignment. We don't, so I think this type of intention, am I right, would work with everything, including relationships. So like if you're going into, I don't know, a conversation with your mother and you have a particularly difficult time with that, to take a second ahead of time.
Oh, it is just so amazing. And I'm so glad you actually mentioned that about a mother, because with with my mother, I left this religion, this cult, and I'll tell you what, it split my mom and I apart. And that was just so devastating. And I used this technique, if I can just use myself as an example, I used this technique on my mother's and my relationship. And she's about to turn 90. I am caring for her. We have a wonderful relationship, and I owe it to nothing more than the intention and the time that I put into our energy around our relationship. And I'll tell you what, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful thing right now. So
wow.
I can honestly tell people, I mean, my mom and I didn't speak for several years because of, what I had done. And and for that energy to be healed, it was amazing, incredible.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And I love that because, it's pointing out how vital we are to every relationship, as opposed to just sitting around waiting for other people to change or trying to force them to change. Our intention, again, factors so heavily in. So that's really amazing.
That, Kristen, and taking 100% responsibility for where you are, then you can't be a victim.
Yeah, and actually, can I ask you, I want to ask you a question about that that's sort of taking us a little off, but it's really important because a lot of people, they hear, I have to take 100% responsibility for myself and I can't be, and it freaks them out. And I think it freaks them out because we live in a society that says, well, responsibility equals you're the one who the finger points at and you get blamed. So talk to me about the difference between, or maybe you're like, no, that's absolutely what it is. I don't think so. But the difference between taking responsibility and not being a victim anymore and blaming yourself.
Well, good question. Because I think that's just the human nature is if you do take 100% responsibility, you instantly go, well, it's my fault. And then right behind that fault comes the blame, the unforgiveness, the being hard on yourself. And I did that exactly when I sold my business. I thought I was doing a great thing. It all just cratered. And I knew that it was my responsibility. I made the decision of who I was going to sell to. I made it happen for him. I carried the note. Boy, I lived for years in self-blame. And I finally, through consciousness, recognized I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself, love myself. And so there is this next step. I'm so glad you brought this up. There is this next step to taking 100% responsibility, not being a victim, but then also loving and forgiving yourself for being human, for making a mistake now and then. But we've got to love and forgive ourselves. And that's where I think that it kind of smooths out for us.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, just to sort of add to that, is because even if we shift to, okay, well, I can't blame that person, so I'm going to blame myself. Well, you're still staying in the victim. You're still a victim, right? It's just
exactly.
So victim doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't. So it's a matter of, like, at some point you have to heal and love, and forgiveness doesn't mean saying, yes, let's do this again and again and again. It's not condoning the behavior. It's forgiving it. We are human beings. And, so I'm so glad that because it's so important that people hear that, and they'll get stuck a lot of times. And I'll see people, when I work with people, sometimes I will visibly see them just like stop breathing. If I say, it's time to become 100% responsible, and they literally stop breathing, and that's how I know they connect responsibility with blame. Whereas if it's someone that gets that responsibility actually equals freedom, because it means it's your life, you're not waiting for other people, that whole thing, they relax. So, I'm really glad we got into this, even though I pulled you a little bit off topic. It's all
right.
It's all the same topic.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And actually, in alignment with this, let's talk about the word, because you've even said this too, like accepting. There are, that's a tough thing. Like, people do not accept where their lives are, where their relationships are, what their body looks like, what their money is like, who they, accepting is like, and I think people freak out also, because if they accept it, then that means it'll be like that forever, which it might be. You still need to accept it, right? So
exactly.
Can you explain, because I know that the process of consciousness, we talk about love and all of that, it's really important. Can you explain how you would approach that, and what the benefits are when we can finally learn to love and accept ourselves, and really more specifically, because a lot of this does have to do with health and healing, when we can learn to accept our bodies?
Yeah. Yes, I would love to share that, because it's big. This is a big subject. Learning to love and accept yourself is so important in the process of healing your body in any way, whether it's weight loss or illness, disease, or just simply being happy. Self-love, self-acceptance, self-approval, they're key ingredients to being able to heal anything in your life. And that's body, relationship, success, finances. And I want to stress that you cannot heal yourself if you don't believe that you deserve to be healthy, or that you're not worthy of being healthy. Just like you can't earn a good living if you don't believe you deserve to make a good living.
Yeah.
You can't be in a healthy, loving relationship if you don't believe you deserve one. And so this is why we must choose consciously to accept and love ourselves in order to heal. And so what that means, basically, is stop criticizing yourself. Like we were just saying, that blame, that being hard on yourself. And let me just have you do this, and have the listeners do this. Just for 10 seconds. I just want you to consciously become aware of your self-talk. How do you silently in your head talk to your body? Like when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, do you say, "You are my best friend, body. Thank you for allowing me this human experience"? Or do you look in the mirror and the first thing you do is you're like, "Oh my God, you look so tired. Oh, you've got bags under your eyes. Are you getting more wrinkles around your eyes? You're so you're 15 pounds overweight. What do you say? What do you say?" So just for a few seconds, think about what you say to yourself. Yeah, do you say, "You're my very best friend. I appreciate you"? Or are you being critical? So that's big. And some of those things that you say to yourself, like, I'll never lose weight. If you say that to yourself, then you're probably never going to lose weight. Or you see someone in the gym or walking down the street and you're like, "Oh, I'll never look like her." Then you probably never will. It's just, how do you treat yourself? How do you speak to yourself? How do you think of yourself? And if we have time today, maybe we'll go through some of that conscious, breathing and accepting and shifting some energy and all of that, if we've got some time later on.
Actually, that's amazing. You're so tapped in. I was literally just about to ask you.
Perfect.
I'm like, you don't even need me, Vicky. You got this. You got your finger on the pulse of the audience. This is perfect. Yeah, if we could do that, I think that would be, because I could feel. I don't know if you felt it. I'm sure you did. But when you said that, go and think about how you truly sort of greet yourself. You could just feel that. I mean, it was like there was a heavy weight to that. So yeah, I think it would be amazing if you could take us through a little bit of the breathing.
Would you like to do some breathing right now?
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. Conscious breathing is it's so cool, and I would assume that a lot of your listeners, like you said, they're pretty tapped in group of people that some of them probably meditate and different things. But I'm finding on our planet right now that a lot of people do that without having a real intention of why they're doing it. They're just doing it because it does calm them down and it feels better, but really to get more oomph out of it, is to have the intention to breathe and clear and balance and allow the natural flow of universal energy to move through like the energy centers in our body. So just to speak about that for a second, when our energy centers, our chakras, are not flowing smoothly and life source isn't able to move through the way that it needs to, that's when we start finding weight issues, illness, pain, dis-ease. When you do these types of processes of conscious breathing or whatever, you can effectively regulate and direct the flow of life force through your body and energy fields and regain your power, your health, your freedom toward health. So conscious breathing, it enables you to relax and release emotional tightness, toxins, things that don't serve you, things that create physical and emotional illness and dis-ease. So when we do this, as you breathe, you'll want to intentionally breathe in life force gently, effortlessly. And when you've taken in all the air you desire, just instantly, without a pause, perfect circle of breathing, allow the air to release. And as soon as you've emptied your lungs, you're going to instantly, without pause, continue that circle of breathing in and out. And stay conscious and aware of this circle. Be in that circle of breath, going in and going out. So it's just really consciously thinking about what you're doing. And so we'll get started, and I want to make sure that everyone listening, that the ringer is off on your phone. Make sure you won't be disturbed if possible. Put your pets in another room or something. And of course, if you're driving, you don't want to do this. Little disclaimer there for all of us.
Oh,
right?
Always good to say. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you sit or lie down, as long as you're comfortable and just have your spine as straight as possible. So if you'd like to, let's begin.
Great.
Okay. So first, I'd like everyone just to take in a nice, deep, long breath, filling your lungs completely. And exhale all that air out. And as you do, gently close your eyes. And I want you to just become very present in your breathing. And I want you just to breathe in and out. And as you breathe in that divine crystal white light into your very center. And exhale. And inhale again, filling up even more with this beautiful white healing light. And exhale. And just continue to breathe. In this process, you're going to consciously allow this crystal white light to move to each chakra or energy center to remove and transmute all imbalance of darkness that may exist. That's our intention. And so let's do that together. with your attention at the base of your spine, I want you to breathe in this white light and send it to that area. And exhale and let all imbalance and blockages go. Take in a deep breath, sending it up and down your spine. And exhale. With your attention just below your navel, breathe in the white light. Send it to all of your sexual organs, balancing and transmuting. And exhale and let it all go. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and send the white light just above your navel, allowing it to transmute, cleanse your pancreas, spleen, gallbladder. Exhale. Inhale, sending the light to your liver, kidneys, stomach, intestines. Exhale. Inhale, placing your attention to your heart. Breathe in the light to your heart. And exhale. Breathe into your heart and transmute any blocks in your blood, heart, circulatory system. And exhale and let it go. Breathe in fully and fill your heart with this white light. Exhale. And breathe the light into your throat area, balancing, transmuting, clearing. And exhale, letting go. Breathe in, fill your lungs to capacity. And let it go. Breathe the light into your forehead and allow it to completely clear away any imbalance, clutter, and chatter. And exhale. Breathe in, filling your ears, eyes, nose, your brain with this white light. And breathe out. And now breathe in the divine crystal white light to the top of your head, your crown chakra. Transmute, clear. And exhale, letting go. Breathe in and out. Very nice. Just keep breathing, and I'd like you to place your attention at the base of your spine again. And this time, I want you to visualize a deep color red and see it rotating and spinning in all directions as you consciously balance this energy center. Just breathe, balance. This is where your survival instincts come from and holds the energy of your thoughts, worries about money, physical security, and safety. And you've already let go of fear and worry through the divine crystal white light. So just allow this to balance. And as you visualize this red, think this thought: I am protected. My needs are always met. I am supported. And just breathe fully. And exhale. I am protected. I am supported. And moving your attention now, just below your navel, I want you to see the color orange and allow it to swirl and rotate and balance all energy around pleasure and enjoyment, sexual fulfillment, your desires, and accepting change in your life with ease. And as you see this orange, beautiful light moving, think, my desires are fulfilled and I feel life fully. And breathe in a full, deep breath. And exhale, my desires are fulfilled and I feel life fully. Beautiful. And now place your attention in the middle of your stomach. This time, see a beautiful, yellow, brilliant light moving and spinning as bright as the sun. And as you do, think of your personal power and control and what that means to you. Think this thought: I fearlessly have power and control over my life. And see the yellow light right in your center. Breathe in fully and out. I fearlessly have power and control over my life. Excellent. And with your thoughts now on your heart, in that whole area, see a beautiful emerald green light moving in all directions. This is where the energy of all love, relationships, feelings reside. Just breathe, see the green light, and just think these words. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I love myself. And just continue to breathe and see the beautiful green light all around your heart. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I love myself. Breathe in fully. Breathe in that truth. And breathe out. And moving to your throat area, I want you to see a beautiful sky blue energy spinning, moving as you intentionally balance your ability to speak your truth and communicate with the divine, with yourself, with others. And I want you to think this thought: I am free to speak my truth and to communicate with ease and love, and visualize this blue healing energy all through your throat area. Take in a deep, full breath. And exhale. I am free to speak my truth and to communicate with ease and love. And now place your attention right in your forehead. And I want you to see a dark blue energy moving throughout. This is your spiritual vision and where your truth resides. And I want you to think this thought: I allow myself to fearlessly see the truth in all things. And just visualize this beautiful indigo blue right in your forehead. Breathe in fully and exhale. I allow myself to fearlessly see the truth in all things. And now moving your attention to the top of your head, your all-knowing mind, a wonderful connection. See and feel a beautiful purple energy circling just inside your scalp and above your head. And know that you have a perfect connection to your higher self, to the universe, to God. This is your divine guidance right here, and I want you to think this thought: I follow my inner guidance. I hear, listen, and trust my higher self, the universe, God. Breathe in fully this purple light. And exhale. I follow my inner guidance. I hear, listen, and trust my higher self, the universe. And now I want you to just quietly take in 3 slow, conscious, healing breaths anywhere into your body that you choose. And exhale, and do that now. Inhale. And exhale. Again. And exhale. And one more time. And exhale. And as you do, you can gently open your eyes and kind of come back onto this call. And how do you feel, Kristen?
This is so crazy because, of course it's not. I've been doing this long enough. I should know this isn't crazy. It's synchronicity. So yesterday morning, I walk every morning and for a significantly long period of time. And I was having a particularly good walk. And I was like, oh, there used to be this chakra meditation that I would do that I just love doing. Where is that? And I couldn't find it anywhere. And so literally I was just like, oh my God, you're kidding me. So it was perfect. Thank you so much for that.
You are so welcome.
Yeah, no,
great.
That was fantastic. And everyone just like, I mean, I'm sure in the moment you were really able to take that in, but that is such an amazing process to be able to go through, even just to begin your day. It's just, thank you. And that was spectacular. There's a warmth to your voice that allows you to really go to wherever you want to go. So I very much appreciate that about you. I think you're very special. Your energy is very warm and inviting, and and grounded. I'm not like, whoa, where did Vicky go? It's a really nice mixture. So I just want to say that now. I appreciate that, and I appreciate that on behalf of everyone that's listening. And actually, what I would love to find out from you is, it's always really helpful for us to hear, because we just gone through this with you and it's like, wow, that's really powerful. I would love to hear if you have a few success stories, and I know you have countless, but just that maybe some of your favorite success stories, just from people that have applied what you teach and what you're working with people on, just so that we can hear, oh, okay, this is what's possible through doing what we've talked about today.
Yes. Absolutely. I do think that helps when you hear someone else, well, that happened for them. Maybe it's possible that could happen for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. One that comes to mind for me, a client that I have, I'll call her Anne. She came to me with a lot of physical issues and some emotional too. They're all tied together. Many issues, and she was tired of life. And she was tired enough that she was kind of considering checking out. And she really didn't have any fear of checking out, leaving. In fact, she was looking forward to it. It was interesting because Anne considered herself extremely spiritual. And I'm not kidding. She had read everything. She's one who said she's done everything. She traveled. She knew monks and spent months in silence, and all of in the name of trying to be spiritual. But here's what I want to say about her, and was able to help her gain awareness too, is she was spending all her physical energy trying to be so spiritual, heavenly, whatever, that you've probably heard this before. She was no earthly good. She was spending all of this energy out there trying to be something that I think she already was. And, this is one thing that I want to share about her experiences. I think we have a growing community of consciousness seekers, and the goal seems to be to become so spiritual that nothing affects us anymore. But, Kristen, I don't know that that's so healthy, because we're human beings right now. We're in these physical bodies because we've chosen to be human for these few years that we're here and experience physicalness. And we mustn't forget that we are already spiritual. We are spirit. We are spirit. We are housed in these physical bodies for a physical experience. So, I just want the listeners to remember that you're already spiritual, and you're having a physical experience, and it isn't something you have to go after. Being spiritual, you already are. Boom. Now, how can we enjoy this physicalness in the best way? And I personally, yeah, I think we need to spend more time being physical and present in these bodies. And if we do, I believe that our bodies will be happier, healthier, more appreciative, that we're not trying to ascend out of them, until it's actually time.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell people, because in my fitness world, I would tell people, it's a bit rude to ignore your body and try to be out there doing something all the time, something way spiritual or whatever, and just ignore it. It's like not being a friend to your body, Which I might touch on in a minute.
I love that.
I want to finish on with Anne, because as we worked on her being able to accept her body by changing her beliefs around it, because she had some real emotional issues around, accepting her body. And guess what? She did become her own best friend. And I think that that's what's important, is that forgiveness, that accepting, becoming your own best friend, speaking nicely to your body is huge, huge. And today, I just want to say she's happy, she's healthy, she operates very consciously, she's in a good relationship. And so that's one experience. Of course, I always come back to my healing and my story, because it's the very reason I'm here today. And, coming out of a cult, being in this religion that took away all my power, I just felt a lot of emotional abuse and in my psyche, and then it started coming out through my body, and just learning to deal with all of that consciously is such an amazing process. But I do have another really great medical one that I'll just share, and it's short. But this lady came to me, and she was having high blood pressure, and she told me that her doctor wanted her to go on to this blood pressure medication. And, that's really hard on other things on your body, and she didn't want to do it. And she's like, oh, this is like my last resort. Can you help me? Well, anyway, what I did is we identified some of her limiting beliefs. We did a lot of transformational energy work around that. We consciously created new beliefs, got rid of the old ones, put the new ones in, balancing her right and left brain. And 2 days later, she had an appointment with her doctor, and guess what? Blood pressure down.
Wow.
Blood pressure down. And he said, I don't want to put you on this medicine right now. Let's just watch this for a little bit, and see. Just so we can do so much with our bodies. I have lots of stories from people, that were on Xanax and they were able to get off of it and still sleep, and people with anorexia and bulimia, obsessive compulsive behaviors, all of those things. We are so powerful with our bodies. I just want everyone to know that we are so powerful. And I'm not saying go off of your medicine right now. I'm just saying that you have a lot of options coming your way.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And in order to, it's like the first step is just, even if you're having trouble with this, is just accepting that concept that we are so powerful, in our bodies. Right? It's the beginning. It's just like the awareness of it, the acceptance of that concept. Because it's so true. I mean, it's incredible what we can do when we finally get in alignment with that and have that true intention, as opposed to, like, as we were talking about earlier, well, I'll try it, but it's not going to work anyway.
Exactly.
That's we're that powerful is the thing.
We are.
So if we're intending it's not going to work anyway, guess what? So yeah. Yep. I love that. So here's the thing. I love this. I love this call. I love what you took us through. That the chakra visualization was unbelievable, by the way. There's obviously so much more. I feel like you and I could sit and talk for 12 hours. There's so much, right? It's just that thing where you're like, ooh, okay. But because we can't sit here for 12 hours, what I did, because I want people to really be able to experience everything that you have, to give, because there's so much. So, guys, I asked Vicky to create a special offer for everybody who's listening. I highly encourage you, go to Vicky's special offer right now so you can experience it for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all the link. Go there now, because then Vicky's going to talk us through what you will find there. So here's the link. It is www.livebigmedia.com/act, which is A.C.T. Can't get simpler than that. Again, that's livebigmedia.com/act. Or really simple, if you're on the internet, you can just click on the special offer button that's on this page and it will take you right to it. So go ahead, do that now. And Vicky, if you could let us know what we'll find there, that would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. I would love to, because I so firmly, as you know, believe in what I've created here, because it has changed and saved my life with countless others. And I know that it can do that for people who will apply this, not try to apply it, but will apply it. And, this just goes deeper into consciousness. It will help people to get stronger bodies, better relationships. And so what I'm offering are 10 powerful, short, like 10 to 15 minute processes, similar to what we just did. And they can easily be downloaded on smartphone, iPad, computer. So you have them with you anywhere, anytime, and you can just, click it on and do it, just like we did on this call. And those processes, I'll just go through. There's conscious breathing, conscious detox, and this is for the body and mind. Powerful, powerful. I've had people literally lose 3 to 5 pounds within 24 hours of doing this process.
Wow.
Seriously. I mean, first thing they did within about 5 hours was go to the bathroom and be in there for a little while, if you know what I'm saying. They were letting go of a lot of crap in their life.
I was going to say, stuff you're letting go of. Yeah, exactly.
So conscious forgiveness of self and others opens a floodgate of healing for your mind and body. Conscious chakra balancing, igniting your ability to heal, consciously loving and accepting yourself and your body. And I'm telling you, you can love your body. I promise you that when you learn, to love and accept your body right now, right where it's at, it will become your best friend, and you will begin to see all the good in you instead of all the bad. This is super important. Okay, conscious gratitude, which is another floodgate of healing. That gratitude can take away pain and illness and despair. It's so powerful. Conscious pain relief. And this one I think is better than pain pills because it's cheaper, it isn't addictive, and it won't constipate you.
There you go.
Okay. Conscious conversations with your food and water. This one you will love. We touched on that just a little bit, so this is a whole lot more information. Conscious fitness and metabolism, and this process can totally and drastically change your body image and the way that you work out. You won't find this information in a health club or a gym either. I mean, this is totally different. So conscious muscle toning and strengthening is the last one. And my cheaters, which I call some of the people that don't like to work out so hard, they love this one. Love it, love it. So that's the 10 short processes. But then, this is meaty. I love this. I'm going to include 7 incredibly healing 50-minute guided meditations. And these have been life-changing to thousands of people, and they can be for all of you as well. There's conscious joy, conscious confidence, conscious ways to break bad habits and addictions, peace, security, spiritual awakening, morning awakening, peaceful sleep, and one of my favorites is conscious healing meditation. I recorded this meditation, used it on myself. It is amazing. And then finally, Yeah, and then finally, because we didn't get to touch on this in our visit today, but I really want each of the listeners to have a really simple, direct lesson in dowsing, because it's one of the greatest tools that I have ever used in my own personal healing, ever. And I'm going to throw in my bonus book, Conscious Questions. It's Dowsing for Answers and Healing Emotionally, Physically, and Spiritually. And it's just an easy, short instruction book on how to find answers for yourself through dowsing.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a lot. Now, I have a couple of questions because but you know what's cool about it is it's a lot, but it's not that overwhelming a lot. It's like, oh, okay. So do you have suggestions about how we go through it? Do we pick what seems to apply to us? You know, what are your suggestions about how we go through it?
You know, I think that the short processes, when people download those and look at them, they're going to know which ones they need to do. They're going to be drawn to them because they're just that powerful. The meditations, I really like to have someone take a meditation. Let's just say that they pick the joy one and listen to it several times for a week, and then move on to the next one and listen to it several times for a week. And then once you go through all of those, you can randomly pick them just depending on what it is you're feeling like you might need at the time. Very simple.
Wow. Very okay, simple. Perfect. I love that. And then, you know, as we start to use these, I'd love to know, you know, are there, obviously we talked about the 3 pounds already, but what are some of the biggest benefits that we can start to expect to experience, you know, right away as well as over time?
You know, I've seen this happen for people where, you know, body fat starts to melt away, strengthening and toning muscles, reshaping your body, and just gaining new awareness around food, water, exercise, eating habits. And once you start raising that awareness through these processes, you begin to assimilate and digest your food better. You start sleeping better attitude, better immune system. It snowballs. You know, you begin to get a better body image and a healthier relationship with yourself, which then snowballs to healthier relationships with other people, better sex life. I mean, it just truly snowballs. So I think that it's just limitless, you know, what you can do with this information and with the power that you personally have.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and also it sounds like, you know, we'll get sort of that immediate bang for our buck, so to speak. But, you know, that immediate impact. But then what I love from what it sounds like you're saying is this can sort of join us through our entire lives, you know, and that snowball effect. Wow, that's really cool. That's really unique. I love that. Again, let me give everyone the link again, just because I want to make sure they know what it is. Everyone go to www.livebigmedia.com/act. That's A.C.T. Again, that's livebigmedia.com/act. And again, if you're on the website, you can just simply click on the special offer button that is on this page. It will take you right there. You definitely want to, if any of this is resonating with you, go and check this out, because that the process alone that Vicky took us through, I was just sitting there, just, you know, there was part of me that was like, whoa, this is so powerful, and she's just doing this right here and now. So definitely go check it out. And Vicky, I've loved having you here. As I said, I could sit and talk to you for 12 hours. Do you have any final thoughts, any final, just things that you want to share with us before we sadly let you go?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me here. I just am so appreciative and excited for the results that I know are going to take place for the listeners. I just know it. I feel it. I know it. And thank you, listeners, for spending time with us today. I hope that you feel my true desire to help you to begin unlocking your body's ability to heal itself, to strengthen, to tone, balance, just so that you can live a better life of freedom in that body. And these processes and techniques are life-changing on so many levels. And I hope that they will change your life for the good. And please don't try to do them, just do them. And I don't know you personally, a lot of you, but I do know something about you, and I know that you are amazing. You are powerful. You are in charge of your life, and you deserve to live the best life in that body.
It's so true. I mean, that's exactly why I'm doing this. That's exactly why I'm seeking out people like you to share with them. You guys, you're all absolutely extraordinary already. And, it's people like Vicky that are here to help you with the tools to sort of let you expand into that extraordinary. So Vicky, and you've done that magnificently on this call, Vicky. You're just fantastic. So
thank you.
I thank you so much for sharing all of this with us today, for sharing all of you with us today. And, I really appreciate you. And I look forward to when we get to do this again.
I would love that. Thank you, Kristen.
Absolutely. And until the next time, everyone, keep manifesting. Bye-bye, all.